Ladies and gentlemen, the opening ceremony is about to begin. Please be seated and set your mobile devices on silent mode. Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, grüezi miteinander. Welcome to today's ceremony and HKDI Master Lecture Series on Stunning Swiss Style and Design in hybrid mode. This lecture series is organized by the External Affairs Office of the Hong Kong Design Institute with support from the Zurich University of the Arts and the Consulate General of Switzerland in Hong Kong. I am Laura, an exchange student from Zurich University of the Arts, and it's my honor to be your MC today. It is our great pleasure to welcome the following guests today. Professor Michael Krohn online. He's a professor of design, head of Center for Sustainability at the Zurich University of the Arts. Mr. Rolf Frey, General of Switzerland in Hong Kong. Dr. Lei Lian Ong, Principal of Hong Kong Design Institute. Mr. Simon Tang, Vice Principal of Hong Kong Design Institute. And Mr. Wing Wong, Vice Principal to Hong Kong Design Institute. Welcome. To kickstart the lecture, we'd like to invite Dr. Lei Lian Ong, Principal of Hong Kong Design Institute, to give her welcome remarks. Dr. Ong, please.
Hello, Professor Krohn. Michael, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Nice to see you here again. Yeah, and Mr. Frey, Consul General of Switzerland in Hong Kong, distinguished guests, colleagues, and students. On behalf of Hong Kong Design Institute, HKDI, may I welcome you warmly for this opening ceremony of the Master Lecture Series, Autumn 2022, organized by HKDI. I would like to thank Zurich University of the Arts and also Consulate General of Switzerland in Hong Kong in supporting HKDI in organizing this Master Lecture Series. Zurich University of the Arts has been a very long partner with HKDI, including student exchange, as you can see, and also joint student project. And we also bring in graduates work from Zurich University of the Arts to the campus for sharing with our local students. In fact, 2 weeks ago, we visited Zurich University of Arts with Mike, and we met Michael to update what has been happening in HKDI and also our new initiatives. And we also discussed and agree a number of new areas of collaboration in deepening and widening the scope and the area of partnership. This Master Lecture Series actually marks another highlight of our growing partnership, as you can see. Switzerland Design is widely admired for its innovative approach and recognized as the world leader in innovation. And the Master Lecture Series is one of the programs that we bring in for students, especially as expanded learning programs in HKDI, so that they can learn outside the classroom, outside Hong Kong, learning from other countries, the good practices, sharing the good industry experience, so as to create this learning opportunity for our students to learn, to open up their horizon for their creativity and for their imaginations. This year, we have a new mode of theme in running the lecture series. We choose a country so that students can learn deeper and in depth in understanding all aspects of the country, not only in terms of architecture, but fashion, material, textile, and all aspects of the country's culture and design. So guess which country we have chosen? Switzerland, of course. This series will run from today through 9th of November. I would strongly encourage colleagues and students to participate actively and to take the full advantage of learning about Switzerland. Once again, may I express my heartfelt gratitude to Zurich University of the Arts and Consulate General of Switzerland in Hong Kong for your continued support in bridging us with Swiss partners. We look forward to extending our partner network in Switzerland for cultivating our talents, our students, and professional interchange. Have a very fruitful master lecture series. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ong. Please be seated. We are also delighted to have Mr. Rolf Frey, Consul General of Switzerland here, and he will deliver the opening remarks. Mr. Frey, please.
Dr. Ong, dear vice principals, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, dear students, a very good afternoon to you. It is actually a great pleasure for me to be here and to witness the launch of this master series. I have to say, it's a second visit I pay to this institute. And each time I come here, I'm really so impressed by the architecture of this institute. And last time I had the chance to visit the different departments, and it was really very interesting. So I'm pleased to be here. And I wanted to start maybe with a question. So what comes to your mind when you hear Switzerland? Very quickly. Watches. Chocolates. Knives. Okay, well, that's exactly more or less the answer I always receive when I ask students what comes to your mind when you hear Switzerland. But very few say design. But it is a fact that Switzerland is well known for its design. And therefore, it's, of course, also great that you hear a little bit about Swiss design. So I sincerely congratulate Hong Kong Design Institute and the University of Zurich of the Arts for putting together this master lecture. I'm extremely happy to see this fruitful cooperation. It is also my goal and role to build bridges between Switzerland and Hong Kong. These master series are an excellent example of building bridges by exchanging knowledge. This not only helps to learn about specific topic, but also increases knowledge about each other and deepens relationship. Isn't that exactly what the whole world needs in these difficult times? According to Switzerland's Design Association, Swiss design is, and I quote, synonymous with innovation, quality, longevity, and intelligent execution within the fields of fashion, product, design, furniture, graphic, and textile design. So Swiss design today, tomorrow, who wouldn't like to know what the future brings us? I think this is very exciting, and I would definitely be interested to know the thoughts, not only from the lecturer, but also from the students. Do they converge? This lecture series will certainly inspire the participants, but I'm sure it won't be a one-way street, and Switzerland can also learn from Hong Kong. The collaboration between Hong Kong Design Institute and Zurich ZHDK is one step further to strengthen the connection between the two competitive places in the world. Indeed, this master series is another milestone promoting exchange between Hong Kong and Switzerland. In 2015, we saw here at the Institute a Vanguard typography exhibition by ZHDK. Another exhibition took place in 2017 from ECAL Graphic Design. In 2018, the Hong Kong Design Institute organized another interactive, playful Swiss design exhibition from ZHDK. So it is really impressive. I only wish that in the near future, this outstanding cooperation can again be experienced by on-site exchanges instead of being online. Well, before concluding, I must say I'm always impressed by the young crowd. And this is the future. And this morning, I attended the opening of the FinTech Week. There was also an exhibition, and I saw quite a number of startups with many young people. And it's really impressive. So I think we don't have to worry about the future. The young generation is here and will bring it forward. I would like to thank the Hong Kong Design Institute for their excellent cooperation. I wish you all a fruitful and inspiring master lecture series. And of course, happy Halloween. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Mr. Fry, would you remain on stage for photo taking, and the other guests can also come on stage? And Mike, Professor Krohn can look at the camera or try to look at the camera. Thank you very much. Please be seated. And now let's take another one with all of you guys. Please look at the cameraman. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining today's ceremony. Glad to see your happy faces. May I now invite our senior management to accompany the Consul General to continue their itineraries. We're now going to start the master lectures. Today, we are very honored to have Professor Krohn share his precious insights on stunning Swiss style design to kickstart our master lecture series. Professor Krohn has a practical background in industrial design and design engineering. He's lecturing, researching, and publishing topics about design, especially on industrial design and sustainability, combining experiences from the design practice with academic development led him to different positions at the Zurich University of the Arts since 1992. He's an expert in Swiss design, design thinking, and innovation. Now let's welcome Professor Krohn.
Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. So first of all, thank you to be here as not only as the first speaker, but also as a long-term friend of HKDI. Thank you, Leiliane. It was great to have you here in Zurich, and it's even greater to see you here online. Good morning, Mr. Fry. We have a long-term partnership also with the consulate in Hong Kong. And therefore, it's an obvious result that we meet here. I'm here in foggy Zurich. It's quite cold. Winter starts probably today. And see you here all sitting in this audience and yeah, interested in what is Swiss design and what does this mean probably for Hong Kong. It is my pleasure to open that master lectures, and I will use probably some welcome words. When we started, it was around summer or spring when the idea came up to organize this master lecture series, and it was my pleasure. And I start now my screen. Let me check. So, can you see my screen? I guess it's working. It was my pleasure to put together these 8 master lectures covering different types of design, from architecture, product design, fashion design, branding, textiles. And it was a great honor for me to have this look around Swiss design in different aspects and in these 8 master lectures. So I invite everybody of you to be guests of all of them, or probably a few of them. I'm convinced that what you are hearing, what you are seeing might be very interesting for our friends in Hong Kong. When I say from our friends, then it's really what Leiliane said. We have a long-term partnership. We exchanging students, ideas. Just a visit from Leiliane this or 2 weeks ago, we were convinced that we prolong our partnership in different aspects of design, and especially sustainability. So that's my start of my lecture. The first lecture is really like opening a bunch of flower to introduce you in stunning Swiss style, as we say. And as already mentioned from Laura, I'm by my heart, I'm an industrial designer. I have my own agency still in Zurich, and I'm also a professor of design in Zurich University of the Arts. And when I say this, then it's only because probably it's a little bit too much focused on products, because I'm expert in that, but I will also mention textile design, branding, etc. in my master lecture. But I guess you will always feel my background as a very convinced and very happy product designer. So that's the background of me. Today I'm a professor, as said, and I'm focusing on sustainability and transformation of the society because of several topics like climate crisis, food, social design, etc. And so this is what I do now at Zurich University of the Arts. So, but let's jump into our topic. If we hear or if we see different types of design, then we can say, okay, German design, probably it's functional and durable. Italian design is gorgeous, exciting. American design is bold and crazy. French design, chic, effortless. Scandinavian design, harmonious and reduced. But what can Swiss design look like? And Mr. Fry already said, people know about chocolate, people know about watches, about our famous military knives, but Swiss design is something which people probably don't know about it. And this master lecture is now about not only what is Swiss design looking like, because I will show many examples, but also, let's say, the function behind it. Why Switzerland is doing such stunning design and such has such education in design. But looking from the perspective of where we are and who we are, Switzerland is a very small country in the middle of Europe. We have 7.5 million inhabitants, but we have a very big GDP of 812 or 813 billion US dollars. And I mean, compared to our neighbors like France, Germany, Austria, Italy, we are quite small, but as a small nation, we are really doing successfully business all around the world.
Hello,
so this
Michael.
is
sorry.
yeah?
Hello, Michael. Sorry for disturb you. And then we cannot see the screen. Can you share the screen to us?
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry for that. Let me check. Okay, 1 second. Okay, I go over it. You see it now?
Oh, it's perfect. We can see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I thought about different types of design, which you might know: Italian design, American design, French design. And yes, people ask, and what about Swiss design? And in this master lecture, I will go around and show many examples of Swiss designs, current design, but also like our design heritage. And I will explain what is the education behind that, and how we combine our economy, our culture, and our design tradition today and in the future. So that's what I also already said. We are a very small country in the middle of Europe, 7.5 million inhabitants and a GDP of around 813 billion US dollar. And if you are in Switzerland, it's mostly looking like that. It's a very mountainous country. We have a lot of agriculture, but we have also vibrant cities. We have very good education institutions, but mostly it's a small country covered by many mountains, forests, lakes, etc. So it looks very nice. But actually, we have developed since many years, or part of our tradition, design style, and that means we have a unique identity. So even being very small, we are recognized by our specific design style. And I think, or that's what a lot of designers tell me here also in Switzerland, Swiss design stands for what Switzerland really is in its heart. It's sophisticated but modest. And we are looking at this style and also what might be the potential of the future coming from the history. So people always ask me, where can I see Swiss design all around the world? If you are claiming that Swiss design is covering or is doing a lot of designs all around the world. And one small example, which I really like to show, is our typography achievement, Helvetica. So if you are in New York or in other big cities, you will easily recognize, if you are more or less an expert, that Helvetica, the type font, which is originally created here in Zurich, in our institution, is covering all over the world. Here, for example, the New York subway system is lettered with Helvetica. That's only just one achievement. And if you look this generally, after the Second World War, Swiss design is combined by several unique factors. It's sad, it's inventive and intelligent, it's simple, iconographic, it's always close to engineering and fabrication, it's applied, functional, but stylish, it's honest, modest, and durable. And on the right side, you see something which I think a lot of Swiss people know, this lighting switch. You might find it in every flat here in Switzerland. And it was originally designed in 1943, and it is still sold today because it's so simple, it's so durable, and it's so easy to produce. So that's some sort of heritage. We have high quality standards, skilled expert, and a very diverse industry. So I go now a little bit around several examples, looking from different angles on Swiss design. First of all, and Mr. Frey already mentioned that, precision. Precision is expressed, it's just one example, by watches. And precision is the combination between mechanical engineering and graphic design. And you see here two examples of watches, the famous train station watch, which is in every Swiss train station, from Hans Hilfiger from 1955, but also Max Bill, the famous architect, designed a kitchen clock where you have a timer. Everything is mechanical engineered, that means precision engineering, but I guess the main part is the design of the item, so called what can we see on this clock. And what we see is actually a very precision adjustment of the figures of the letters, and this is some sort of typical Swiss style in this area. Then Swiss designers always played with material. That means the material is very important. We experimented with material. For example, this chair, this very light landing chair of Hans Goray from 1939, and the Eternit chair of Willy Gould. So two completely different materials. And what the designers did is to play around with the possibilities of the material and create two very different seatings, but like exploring the potential of the material. So this is how the Eternit chair was used in that time, and you can still find it in many gardens in Switzerland, because actually it's a very comfortable garden chair. Another part is precision engineering. That means making fine mechanical parts, putting together. Unfortunately, this industry is a little bit in decline in Switzerland. It was substituted mostly by Asian countries, but still let's say the know-how of precision engineering is still in our culture. Then which you might also know is branding. Branding is more than just a typography or editorial design, is really to show a certain attitude and to create a brand. And on the left side, you see this is really something for everyday use. Pharmaceutical packaging design from Ciba-Geigy in the 1960s, where colors, typography, also the proportion of the colors played a crucial role to transfer this company Ciba-Geigy, which was very successful. And on the other hand, more an iconic brand is the Swissair brand, the famous Swissair brand, which does not exist anymore. But I see a lot of people with this Swissair, with bags, with T-shirts and so on. So it's really an iconic achievement to brand these two Swiss companies. Then another thing which especially people from outside of Switzerland are always fascinated by is the so-called minimalism. Some people say it's very similar to Japan. So the attitude to do with less material and with less effort as most as possible. And we have here on the left side the famous potato peeler. So this is used in like every Swiss household. And if you're a product designer or engineer, you see that it's only made by 3 parts. It's a band of aluminium stripe, it's a knife, and it's a cylindrical part which holds these things together. And it's very cheap, it's affordable, and it works perfect. On the right side, you see the aluminum bottle, which is also many students here in our institution use this this aluminum bottle from SICK. And I will later talk a little bit about the material aluminum, because for Switzerland, aluminum has a very high or it's recognizable in a lot of parts or in a lot of products we have here in Switzerland and use it every day. So that's these are two complete different products, but at the end, it's both are made from aluminium, and our aluminium industry was really, or is still really important for our economy. Then mechanical media, that means Also, this tradition is a little bit in the decline. It was also substituted by Asian companies, which are doing really quite well. The famous Bolex film camera, where a lot of filmmakers used in the 60s and 70s. This is it's not digital, it's a normal film material. But as you see on the left side, you can wind it up and then it works from alone. It's a little bit like a watch. And on the right side, you might know that from many spy films from James Bond, this Nagra audio tape, actually it's smaller, or it has more or less the same size as an iPhone today, but it was a wonder work of mechanical engineering and audio physics. So these are really achievements which are probably based on the watch industry. And if we come to the watch industry, we all know the watches from Switzerland, which are not only produced here, but also engineered here and designed here in Switzerland. And it's also a remarkable achievement of the Swiss industry to stay for so long time with these mechanical watches in the market and being really successful. Not only the high-priced brands, but also brands like Swatch or other companies which are doing cheaper watches for the common market. But these watches are still very important for the Swiss industry. On the left side, you see a compass. Also here you can see that it's influencing each other. A compass and a watch looks a little bit like the same, but the clever thing on this compass is it works like a drawer, so you can put the lunette of the compass in and shift it together, and then you have like it's a little bit like matches. A box of matches has the same size, and the compass itself, it's covered then at the end. So these are small items, but very functional and very good engineered. But most of all, they are designed that they are really recognizable, and the design supports the function very well. A little bit later on, we had really expert companies on different types of use. For example, this company Rayvox, which was all the products were actually produced in Switzerland, and they were focusing on audio equipment. They not only did this tape machine and this turntable. On the right side, you see actually this is the first tangential turntable that was ever made. It always combined innovation and engineering and manufacturing in a way that these products and the results are long-lasting, high quality, and user-friendly. So that means it was not, as we saw before, like in France, chic or American design, bold and crazy. It was really like today you would say reduced to the max. So it was functional, it was understandable, it was durable. The Rayvox, or the mother company Studer, did also a lot of studio equipments. And when I was at HKDI for my first time, I recognized your sound studio was also from Studer, from the same company we see here, this tape machine. So you see it all over the world, and it was loved by sound maniacs. They always say these type of machines are the best you could buy or have. So I want to take now one example to explain a bit why or what is like the root of Swiss design and how the Swiss economy, companies, education work together for a certain achievement. And I take here as an example this Lundy chair, which I already showed you. And if you look at this aluminium chair, then this product, then you see some here at this product, even if it's a very simple product, you see a lot of achievements from our industry. So first of all, the idea was, and it was 1939 for the Swiss National Exhibition in Zurich. It was the job to design a chair which is light and durable. It's only 3 kilograms. It's stackable and easy to move, easy to use and cheap in production, and firm, using production methods from the airplane industry, has a good appealing and also good seating for sure. And it was some sort of statement what the Swiss industry is able to achieve in that time. And the stair is still on sale in the same production method today. So let's say it's like 80 years now that this chair is existing, and it's still used in many households, but also in garden restaurants, outside, etc. And why this aluminium chair? You have to know that aluminium, if you produce aluminium, it needs a lot of energy, electrical energy. And at that time, Switzerland had plenty of energy because they built these water dams, and they produced electricity much earlier than our neighboring countries. So with this water in the mountains, we could produce electricity, and electricity is mainly used then to produce aluminium. That's one thing. Then the other thing is the airplane industry. Before the Second World War, Switzerland had the airplane industry, and you probably know that airplanes are mainly made of aluminium. And so the idea was to transfer knowledge from the airplane to a chair. And you see here the structure of a wing, and you will easily recognize the holes which are firming the chairs and make it more durable. And from that point on, these chairs were produced like an airplane is produced. It's very light, it's very durable, and it also looks great. And this was a poster from that time, so it was sold like this. And at the end, if you look at the result, it's not only design, it's the achievement of a whole industry and the whole country. And this was some sort of a typical attempt to design Switzerland has. So characterizing Swiss today, we jump now to today. So we have many creative author designers and design studios. We have excellent design institutions here in Switzerland with a supporting ecosystem, skillful, innovative enterprises and startups, and they know that they can use design as a USP for their own company achievements. And I think this is the most important thing of all. Swiss people who buy at the end this design or use this design are curious, they are quality conscious, and are often open-minded. So they are really interested to have not only good design, but also good function, good quality, etc. And all of that resulting in what we call Swiss style, or easier Swissness. So I want to jump now a bit on the background. So you see here the education system in Switzerland is quite important. We have excellent institutions and private companies, and these are working very close together, offering vocational training as the basis for design excellence. And we combine in Switzerland practice-based learning with academics, so they are interacting. It's not only that you go to university and learn theory and knowledge, it's also that you apply that in companies, and it's not better or worse, it's both. And we have a very good system of vocational training here, and we have also very good schools or University of Applied Sciences and regular university, and they combine each other to produce very skilled, not only designers, but also engineers, but also business people, etc. And as a small, it's really a short introduction in this Swiss education system. the idea behind that, it always connects everything together. So starting with the primary school, like 9-year mandatory primary school for every child here in Switzerland. And then you can either do an apprenticeship, that means vocational training in a company that takes you 3 or 4 years, or you go to high school. And then once you have finished your apprenticeship on the right side, you can go on with your practice career on the job, or you can go to a University of Applied Sciences and do your bachelor or your master. And on the left side, if you go to high school, you can go to a regular university, do your bachelor and master, and at the end, both can end with a PhD. And the interesting point is now that you can combine that. So somebody can start with an apprenticeship, go to a University of Applied Sciences, then probably to the master in a regular university, and then ending up with the PhD. So all these education pathways are open and are connected. And on top of that, we have continuous education system with the Master of Advanced Studies and Certificate of Advanced Studies. So this is mirroring more or less the so-called lifelong learning, where people constantly can return to a university. We know that this system is not cheap. It's Switzerland is investing a lot of their GDP in education, but as we are not Saudi Arabia or Brazil, which have a lot of natural resources, the only resource we have is knowledge and education. So Switzerland invests a lot in these universities, in these schools, in these apprenticeships, and at the end, what we produce are talented and skilled people who are inventive and creating new things. So, for example, like this here, we know that we have in Switzerland many really good universities for engineering, for physics, etc., and they're creating innovations. But what innovations always use or need is to make it tangible. So nobody understands a formula of the chemics or a complex technical system. But if you design that and make it tangible, make it visible, make it immersive, people understand what it is and how it works. On the big screen or on the big photo, you see this self-container that was an experiment. If you can build, or if it's possible to build a living cell which is self-efficient. That means it needs no energy from the outside, it needs no water from the outside, no heating, nothing. And this was done in a combination of a technical university and our Zurich University of the Arts, and he created that living cell. Another part is, and I think that's really important in this time, to do things which are sustainable, long-lasting, and using less resources. So design should reduce the use of resources and show also the capability of new materials. On the left side, you see these famous Freitag bags. These Freitag bags are, as probably you know, are from used tarpaulins from lorries. So this company is collecting tarpaulins from lorries. They wash them, they clean them, they cut them, and making bags. On the right side, you see it's really a young company in Switzerland. It's called Bananatex. They do experiments with banana fiber for garments, and at the end, they end up with backpacks from Bananatex, bags, also clothes from Bananatex. So some sort of new fiber which is growing naturally in the nature, and it's used for a new type of garment. One thing which is also important is making things better, easier to use, easy to understand. On the left side, you see this micro-mobility scooter, which is thought to use it in the city. It was invented here in Switzerland. It's a foldable small scooter, which you can use for, let's say, the last 100 meters to arrive your target. And on the right side, which you probably all know, this Nespresso capsule system for coffee to make the enjoy of coffee, bring it to a new level. This was all invented in Switzerland, and it's the same as before. It's first of all a technical innovation, and secondly, it is design, which makes, yes, as I say here, it turns use into experience. So the experience of all these things are quite important. As said before, make intelligent use of material or digital media. So design is often questioning the usual. So make something new out of something which is already known. And here are two examples which are quite different. On the left side is On running shoes. They just went to the New York stock market, very successful, and they created new innovative elastic sole for sport shoes. And on the right side, you see something completely different, but in the thinking, it's more or less the same. So bringing a dynamic, flexible type design on the screen by just shifting some slides and then or sliders, and then you get like a new typeface. What especially our students are interested in is constantly redefine aesthetics and styles and break also rules. Here are also two very, very different examples. On the left side, you see the Swatch watches created in the 80s when the Swiss watch industry was in a heavy crisis, and this company Swatch came with actually very cheap, not mechanical but electronical watches, but the value was the design here. So they said a watch is like fashion, so every season I create a new watch, and you see here some of the very famous watches in the 80s. But there are companies who do the same in a different approach. For example, here this company Zickzack, it's it's a textile design company in Zurich, which is experimenting with new colors, with new printing on bed linen or any textiles. So this is a constant idea to break the rules and find new boundaries for design. It's also based on curiosity experiments. So our designers have a very strong self-consciousness as inventors and researchers. Here, Jürg Lehny, which is really an important type designer, he created a type design which makes hole in the paper. Or another achievement, which is also very interesting, is this computer-controlled, not 3D, but more or less 2D printer, which works with chalk on a black wall, where he creates typography. And with something which is completely different, but in the same thinking, it was a small group here from Zurich University of the Arts, and they asked themselves, can we make wood bendable? So like wood is like a textile, and they created this ducta system where they cut the wood in very specific ways, and then suddenly wood becomes like a textile. It's bendable, it's stretchable, and you can cover walls with that. You can do furniture, etc. And then, not at last, but we have a very strong supporting system which supports young designers. It's from governmental and non-governmental institutions which are helping young designers to get attention worldwide or within Switzerland. So they connect designers with the industry to make all these achievements ready for the market. So that's always something we are interested in, not doing design for itself, but doing design for the economy and the industry. Another thing is material and the love to the detail. So most of the Swiss design is doing very, very intelligent detail on objects, and the whole is as important as the detail. You see this in this scissor bed or in this SICK bottle, this aluminum bottle, where a style is produced by very good designed details. So the detail is important. It's important as the whole. And this is probably also a little bit different than, let's say, Italian or French design, where they treat the detail as not so important. So this was a short excursus before I go to more examples, which I like to cover. But you see here on the top where we come from. So these are the classical design disciplines. And we go on since our economy is also changing, and we discovered interaction, robotics, artificial design, sustainables and social design, design thinking, but even banking and fintech as disciplines for design. And this is also how we alter and constantly change our design institution. So look at where we are today. These are not all, but a lot of sectors where Swiss design is active in, so from sports and leisure, medical and health, mobility, until still textiles, fashion, furniture, and interiors. And as Liane already said, we have around 7 design universities here in Switzerland. They are independent education institutions, but they do a lot of cooperation with technical universities or universities of business. And so at the end, I will show you some remarkable achievements of Swiss design, more or less recent or current. And the idea is to show you a bit what we are doing. So it's all based on the heritage, which I showed you before. So Swiss designers are working for companies which are doing industry and infrastructure goods, as this aluminum cases or these plastic boxes. This you see also in many companies. It's really everyday use good, and these are still produced here in Switzerland. Then, as said before, maybe we are famous for that, the Swiss Army knife or sport shoes. These künstliche sport shoes are still produced today here in Switzerland from leather. These are very high, very light athletic shoes, but a lot of people wear them for everyday use. Then leisure and sports. Bags are, you may say bag is something really common, but at the other end, if you need a bag for a certain sport activity or for also for everyday use, you see constant innovations on bags. I'm always very astonished because we have so many even small bag manufacturers, and they always find something which you can improve in a bag. I didn't believe that before, but if I see our bag industry, which is doing constantly new things, it's really remarkable. Then yes, sports good for training, mountaineering, or this on shoes. Actually, this company is very interesting because they were founded by 2 engineers and a designer, and they experimented with new soles on shoes. They found an investor, and they have now here, that's just here in the neighborhood of our university, they have now over 300 employees just here in Zurich, and they do constantly also research and development on sport shoes. They suddenly became really a factor in the sport shoes industry. Then, as we all know, we should go away from CO2 production, carbon. So this zero emission mobility industry is something which we are following since many years. People don't know that, but if you look at this twig on the left side, That's like a combination of a bicycle, car with electrical batteries. So two people can sit in there and yeah, they can either drive it by yourself or can use electricity. But this was designed in 1990. That means that's 30 years behind us, where nobody talked about electric mobility. But actually at that time, they already did experiments with that, and they did not many of them, but you still see some of them on our streets. And then on the right side, this electrobike. It was also one of the first ones here, where the battery is very intelligent, covered in the frame of the bicycle. I think as a location for research and technology, and as I said before, designers make technology visible and tangible. We are still strong. So we have this on the left side, this electro motorbike. It was also some sort of experimental motorbike for two people, where they can sit in, they are covered, but actually it's a motorbike, it's not a car, and it's driven by electricity. And on the right side, you see something which is used in our agriculture, electrical municipal vehicle for harvesting in the mountains, and both are driven by electricity. We had, or we still have, a strong furniture and lighting industry, mainly in the higher sector, but also here people are, or designers are constantly exploring possibilities with material, with function, with new technologies. So on the left side is a tilting shoe tray, which you can find in many households here in Switzerland, or this Lifto. It was one of the first halogen lamps from Bellux, which takes parts from the car industry to support the lamp. Machinery and tool is still a strong sector in Switzerland. So we produce tools for work. So everyday tools, they should last long or forever. Hilti is one of the famous companies here, or Trumpf, which they are doing for building sites, tools and machinery, or for metal working. And all of these are also designed by design agencies, mostly produced probably here in Switzerland, probably outside of Switzerland, but here also it's functional, easy to use, durable, and from high quality. Furniture and seating, as I said before, it's still a strong sector here in Switzerland. So this is something which students really love, to do new chairs, to new sideboards, cupboards, etc. Also here, experimenting with material, with shape, with style. Then still watches and stationery. So on the left side, you see also something which was great at the time, the Ventura watch from Hannes Wettstein, which is like a combination of a mechanical and an electronical watch. On the right side for Lamy, it was also designed here in Switzerland, a ballpoint pen, where they simply changed the function of the pen. So if you click on the back side or on the far back side of the pen, it gets the pen shuffles out and it gets longer. So it's easy to store, but very useful if you write with this pen. Then still graphic and editorial design. There are many small studios which are doing graphic and editorial design, also branding. We have many good courses here, programs in graphic design, visual communication, branding, which are doing quite a good job for every day, but also here, these are posters for exhibitions, which designers play around with pictures, with typography, colors, etc. And they constantly try to invent that field. Textiles, clothing, garments. Even we don't have that many textile and also fashion companies anymore. We are strong in innovating things. So one of the famous company is Scholler, which is constantly producing or trying to develop new garments which either can cover warmth, or they cool your body, or they protect you from water, whatever it might be. And at the other side, we have companies like Mammut, which then take these textiles and doing outdoor garments, outdoor wearings, jackets, trousers, etc., mostly for sports, but also for high fashion, as you see here. Jakob Schlepfer is a company which is really doing great stuff here in the textiles for haute couture. They do not produce a lot, but they change it constantly, their collection, and many famous fashion designers use this Schlepfer textiles for haute couture. At the other end, we have companies like Acris, which are producing really wonderful everyday wear for business or leisure. And they have the same breed, this is in the east part of Switzerland, where they have this long-term tradition of textile and fashion design. Then game design, this is quite new. It's also here a program here in Zurich University of the Arts, where they produce at one side so-called serious games. Serious games are games for treatment, for people who have let's say, a mental problem or a medical problem, or as you see here, two examples from Don Schmocker and Philomena Schwab, which are young graduates here from our university, which are doing games where they have really an interesting background in psychology, in biology, so where you can play around with characters which are using that. Interactive environment. So we have also here people which are like experimenting with immersive, so-called immersive experience, which you might know, the bird flying simulator. So you can lay your body on this simulator, and then you can fly like a bird. You get a watch, not a watch. You get gloves. And then you can behave like a bird in the air. You can have wings, and you see the surrounding environment, and you can fly around. That's a full immersive body covering simulator. But at the other hand, we have more or less a market company like Logitech, which are doing since years great equipment for computer, like this mouse and also other equipments. Then medical and health is also important. Also, this equipment has to be designed properly. So we have many companies which are producing health and medical equipment, like this breast pump or this ophthalmic eye analysis equipment, and this is more or less real industrial design, but it should serve the doctor or even a young mother using all this equipment. Investment goods for building technology, for laboratories is also important. So we have many companies which are producing this kind of stuff. They serve everyday purpose. They are used for many years, reliable, durable, from high quality, but nevertheless, it should be some way really stylish. Transport, even if you have no car industry, we are strong with in trains and moving people around in big cities. It becomes more and more important. So we have this Stadler company, which are doing great trains, or at the other side, our agriculture vehicles used in the mountains to harvest things. This is also parts of, or these are results from experiments. So on the left side, you see one like the world record with one liter of fuel. It nearly drove like 1,000 kilometers. It's highly wind, aerodynamic, and at the other side you see this electro car, which is also using really less energy. These are not everyday goods, but they are like developed in our technical universities and then designed. And here at the far end of my presentation, cars. Only few people know that the originally smart concept was developed by Swatch, by the watch company. So the inventor of the watch had the idea to transfer the idea of the design of a watch to a small car, and then it went to Mercedes-Benz at the end, and it was this smart. But nevertheless, we have a new company. It's called Microlino, a city electrical car, which has a completely different concept, like using it. It's for two people, for moving around in a city with electricity, not fast, only 50 kilometers per hour, but that's enough. And so it could serve your daily needs. So, sorry. Next one, yeah. So, in a nutshell, and to come to an end, for its size, Switzerland has a remarkable design reputation. It's depending on three pillars: education, economy, and culture. Design is always a catalyst for innovation and technology, so it brings that visible and tangible. Design loves the detail, timelessness, and minimalize as an attitude, and it serves a creative sector, which is important for our economy more and more. Design as a discipline itself has to be developed constantly. This is what we do here in our university. So thank you for your attention. If you are curious to know more about design in Switzerland, I have November 2nd, the next master lecture, but mainly all master lectures are about Swiss design. So I invite you to be guest in all of these following 7 master lectures. So thank you for attention, and I'm ready now to ask or to answer questions from the audience.
Thank you very much, Professor Krohn, for an enlightening presentation. We have been inspired by your sharing on Swiss style design, and which speaks of the love of detail as well as the intelligent integration of function and utility. And yeah, as you said, we're having a Q&A session now, and Mr. Michael Chan is going to moderate it. If you have questions, please hold your hand up or type it in the chat section if you're online with us, and we will bring them up to Professor Krohn.
Hello, Professor.
Hi, Michael.
Krohn,
Hi.
yes, you again. Very nice. So thank you for your lecture. I think it's very comprehensive. So start from product design to car, fashion, but always they have a main topic inside, like sustainability, culture, heritage, like different things that guiding the design direction of Swiss design. So I think it's good for students to have this master lecture that we dedicatedly country-based. So you can see, as Dr. Han said, that you can see how culture can sculpture the design, or the design can sculpture the culture. So please have the design you create from your surrounding, maybe from the questions or inspired from there, and then you contribute back to your surrounding. I think this is how culture can develop and how design can nourish culture together. So thank you again for the hospitality when we visit Zurich. And sadly, we have only 1 day there, and we cannot have cheese fondue finally. And thank you for your advice to sit on the left side of the train to Geneva, so we can enjoy the very beautiful landscape of the lake there. So talking about the beauty of Zurich, maybe I start my first question, okay? So I think Swiss is very beautiful, not only the landscape and not only the design, but I think it's the public that respect design, and they what can I say? They treasure the design of from the designer. So the question is how your country can build such kind of maybe I can say design literacy, or how that kind of respect can build to the designer. I think Hong Kong need to learn a lot from there.
And what is the question, Michael?
Question is how say like Switzerland, how the public can respect the design so much. They treasure the design so much, and I think one term is design literacy. So they know design, they treasure it. But sometimes in Hong Kong, maybe we still need some rooms to learn, so that we can grow our culture together with the public. It's not designer build the culture, but it's the whole community, right? Okay.
So I guess it's probably a simple explanation, but people who live here, they feel respect of the nature, they feel respect of what the government is doing, and they take care on everything. So many people say Switzerland is a very, very clean country, but this is not because we constantly clean our streets. This is because people feel responsible for what they do. So it's you might say it's like a big family. So you not only feel responsible what you do privately, but you feel also responsibly what you do publicly. And this is probably based in our basic democratic system. So every Swiss human has a vote. He can participate. He's responsible for what he's doing. And this probably leads to this notion of design that we think that like the environment of us belongs to us. We are responsible for that. We're paying for that with our taxes, but we treat it in a good condition. And this is also then the end that if we build if we build a building or if we buy a new train, that it must be good designed, because people who use it paid it for, and they treat it well. So that's probably a simple explanation, but this is like I feel for that. And good design is important. So they spend more money for good design instead of just having like a cheap solution. That's the behavior of a lot of companies, but also the behavior of our government.
Yeah. Very well. Yeah, I think also the respect and also trust is also very important to establish this kind of relationship. So the people trust the designer, and the public trust the government, and so they can have mutual respect to each other. Okay, so maybe I have another questions on your expertise about sustainability. So I heard from some environmentalists said that so actually the world is not sick and it's not unhealthy. It's only if we continue to do what we are now doing, the world is still keep going, but minus human being. So the sustainability is not for the earth, but for human race. So Beyond what we always talk about, like upcycling, recycling, reuse things, anything beyond this we normally know, anything maybe the system or the behind or our behavior can really help not the world, but the human being to be more sustainable and can still live on the earth.
I always say to my students, probably design is part of the problem, but probably design is also part of the solution. So at one side, we create things which need resources, which must be produced, pollute the environment, etc. But at the other side, you can do intelligent things. And with this question, it starts: what do I do as a designer, especially as a young designer? For whom do I work? And more of our graduates, they work not anymore for, let's say, the traditional industry. They work for non-governmental organizations, for healthcare organizations, because they recognized, and it's true what you say, it's not only, let's say, the ecological sustainability, it's more about how we live together. So social design becomes more and more important. So you create systems, you create solutions where people can live together in a friendly way, maybe probably needing not so many products, not so many food, not so many resources. And it's true, it all starts with our social systems. So how we live together, what are our dreams, what are our achievements. And this is all based on our society. So the societal challenges are, in my point of view, even bigger than the ecological challenges, because at the end, we are here in Europe and we need a lot of your resources, because the way we live, that's the problem, not the nature around us, the way we live, what we use every day compared to a person in Africa or Latin America or even in Asia. So sustainability, in my point of view, starts with social questions, and at the far end, it comes to a solution, which might be a product, a textile, or even graphic design. But young students should consider what they do and for whom they work and what they want to achieve. Because I think that the time where you massive produce things are definitely over, because we can't afford that in the future.
Yeah, I think it's a very good message to our students. So we continuously promote sustainability in our institute. We'll have an exhibition about wastage later. Sorry for promotion. But the thing is, like, I think it's important for the young people to have, but I think they also aware about this. I heard from Switzerland that even some students don't want to go to overseas to study because they don't want to take the airplane to increase the carbon footprint. So this is, I think, young people also, because the world finally is yours. So we all together to make human being more sustainable. Okay. Anyway, so maybe I open the, I take the airtime too much. Yeah. So maybe I open the questions to the floor, and also those are online can use the Q&A sections to type me a question, and I will choose some good one for Michael to answer. So, so on the floor, anyone? Yeah. I see Dr. On have some question in her eye, although she's not raising. Any say like the design education? Yeah, okay, we have one from the floor.
Hello.
I think it's
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
Mr. Jonathan.
yeah, I'm very interested in how would you position like design from Switzerland among other country in Europe, because like UK, Germany, which share a lot of similarity with this with design. I mean, how you know, because when you know, especially I'm doing exhibitions, sometimes when we review different kind of exhibitions, sometimes we will curious like how to differentiate, you know, the German design with Switzerland's, or also with British design as well. I think French design is more obvious, but you know, just want to know your brief idea on Swiss design. Yeah.
Probably one thing that distinguishes us from neighboring country, as you said, is that design here in Switzerland is mainly based on companies, while, for example, France and also Italy, the government is investing in design, so they do some sort of design initiatives where they invest a lot of money that the world sees what the French design is doing. That's not the case here. Here we have companies which are, as I said, inventive, they researching technologies, and then they need designers, and we try to convince them that they start even if they start a project, they take a designer on board and they work with a designer. And this is mainly go hand in hand. So technology, business and design are together, and it doesn't need any design initiatives from government. The government is helping us with the connections, like for example, the Swissnex hubs all around the world, Pro Helvetia, which is bringing our design into the world, but it's mainly based on small or bigger companies. And what was also distinguished is that we don't have some sort of core industries. Like in Germany, it's the car industry or the heavy industry. In Britain, it was the steel industry. Now it's the entertainment industry. So we are much more diverse. And that diversity brings this love to detail, as I showed you. So it's not about the bold expression of something. It's always about the detail, about the quality, the durability, so that things really works and do their job, whatever it might be. If it's sports, if it's a mechanical good, if it's mobility, whatever. And I'm always impressed when, for example, here in Zurich, they have a tram here, and they recently sold their 60-year-old trams to East Europe. So these trams worked for 60 years here in Zurich, and then they are even in that good condition, they can be sold to East Europe, and they work there for probably another 60 years. And this is something which is really different to what Italy is doing or France is doing. They constantly do new things, and we trying to do things which last longer, because we have this, and this is connected to what Michael asked me before, which are connected to the understanding of things which are reliable and in a good quality, and we can trust them. That's probably one. There might be other factors, but that's maybe one factor which is distinguishing Swiss design from other design. This is also people telling me that they have the Swiss knife now for 30 years and it still works and it's great and etc.
Yeah. Okay. I have one question from the online. So maybe let's see. So anonymous attendees ask, in your opinions, how to apply Swiss design concept to the Asia region, especially in an international city such as Hong Kong? Okay. I love chocolate.
Yeah, at one side, I think what you just mentioned, Michael, the tourism industry is important for the Asian region, or Switzerland is important. Asia is an important sector or part of the world for Swiss tourism. So we try to sell not only the beautiful landscape, but then it comes to design. As you said before, people who go to Switzerland, they enjoy the mountains, so they have trains, they have public transport, they have chocolate, etc. And Hong Kong is because I have been several times to Hong Kong, and I see that Hong Kong, with these open-minded people, which are really appreciating quality as we do here a bit. I feel some really similarities between Hong Kong and Switzerland. People are well educated, people know about quality, people are eager to do new things, and this is some sort of similarity. And I think they appreciate what we do here. And that's not surprising that many Swiss companies are very successful in Hong Kong, because I think you understand our design attitude better than probably the rest of Asia. And I see many Swiss companies which are doing really well in Hong Kong, but at the other side, I see that Hong Kong people estimate what we do here and appreciate our results and our products, and our even tourism is very well appreciated from Hong Kong.
Yeah, I think Hong Kong is like I don't know how to say, maybe some young people, which is very exciting and always going in different way, but Swiss to me is more calm and more wisdom, and I think it's something that that complement each other. So our students have to learn that their vision, their calmness, and how function can express or these kind of things, and how wisdom can put into the design and into the life. And that's something that we need to learn a lot from your side. And okay, so let's see, maybe I always said, Simon liked my word, design is infinite and lecture is finite. So it's a time that we have to say goodbye. And thank you again for Michael Krohn here, and wish everybody. So we have one week of exciting Swiss design. So I think it's better not limited yourself to your own program. I think it's a very good chance that you can learn from other programs. So if you are a fashion student, go to product design and see what they are talking, or vice versa. Okay, thank you again, Michael.
Thank you.
Thank you very much again, Michael, Professor Krohn, for your sharing today. Hope you've all been inspired by Swiss design. As Michael said, there's going to be 7 more master lecture series where a number of design experts from Zurich University of the Arts will share their expertise. The next one is tomorrow at 4:30, so please be here again. Yeah, and we've come to the end of the webinar. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Goodbye. Ciao zusammen.
Ciao.